Everyone, it's Trader Rob, and let's get into day 8 of our small account cash challenge with the Robert Anderson Gold Line Trading Bot. We are currently looking at a setup that's happening in the Russell. Let's go to the intro.
Order submitted.
All right, well, we got into a trade here really quickly. First trade of the day came into this is looking for, obviously, we're in a short. We had a pullback. Let's see if we can get this thing a little bigger. We had a pullback here to the 5-minute goal line. It also then pierced into the 5-minute red line. So I do like this trade. I love, well, target, in my opinion, would be a few ticks away from where I would like to see it at. Obviously, we're going to have a pivot right here. We probably are going to see some type of resistance right down here. So we'll see. We'll see how this trade plays out. And I am assuming that I hope that the auto trailer doesn't. Hopefully, it gives us a little bit of space here. Let's see if this trade can work out. So, yesterday during FOMC, that was a pretty boring ass FOMC in general. Luckily, I was able to extract some profits with my oil trades in the morning. For those of you that took the oil trade this morning, first session worked out beautifully for. Let's see. I think I changed I think it was 37 ticks of profit in oil. Currently looking to see if we can get another setup here in the second session. Did take a loss today on my morning NASDAQ trade. So I was down 250 there, made up for it on the, well, not completely made up for it on the first oil trade. They can't all be winners. We would love for that to be the case. So yeah, as of right now, the auto break even is not into effect. We haven't gone down enough in profit, or I should say up in profit, to get to our auto break even, which I'm okay with because I do think that the trade does need a little bit of space. And this looks like we might get stopped out here on the Russell. For me personally, trading, just seeing what this has done for the eight
Order
days that I've been
canceled.
trading it. So we took a loss there on the Russell. I really have not been having any luck on the system with the Russell. So I know that in our channel, people have been, testing results of the templates that we have installed on the Russell, and the results haven't been that great. So that was a loss of $11. So not terrible. It's only two micro contracts of the Russell, so not a huge deal. For those of you had a few questions this morning. I started a Discord channel. It's free to join. There's some indicators there's one indicator there that for those of you that are also now following my NQ trade. There's going to be a video. I'll put it somewhere up on here for you guys to watch that scalping strategy. But in my Discord, you can get that indicator for free, and there's some great people that have joined that channel, that are loving, obviously, the oil strategy. They're loving, they're implementing that oil strategy now into ES and some of the other markets. So that that makes me happy. It makes me happy that people are learning the system, they're benefiting from it, and if I could be a very small part in someone's success or betterment as a trader, that feels pretty good. So I really appreciate all the comments. Appreciate everyone who's subscribed to the channel. It's been a wild couple 2 weeks here, but I'm having fun with it. It's nice that I've been actually extremely profitable these last 2 weeks, in my cash accounts with Ninja and in TradeStation. One of the things that I was a little bit worried about with starting this channel was kind of losing focus on the trading part, which, for me is not my primary source of income. I mean, I think I might be on ramen noodles if I was just trying to live off of my trading income. And that's based on my position sizing and my account sizing, as so for the first 2 years, I want to say that maybe the first like 12 months, I went heavy and I went big into trades. I mean, I was trading 3 or 4 contracts of the ES, the mini, 2 or 3 contracts of the NQ. And yeah, you had some great wins, but man, those losses were just disastrous. So I have learned over the last 6 months to position size, back test, and start small. And as you start developing profits from your trading, you can do a few things. Obviously you can take like a systematic approach and say, okay, I'm going to take a paycheck from my trading account every 2 weeks. Granted, you got to have a profitable 2 weeks, and kind of almost treat it like a job, that's going to pay you every 2 weeks. As you guys know, I'm a realtor, so I have we do not get paid every 2 weeks. Obviously, we need to close a property um, for us to get paid, which I had a closing yesterday, and that was a good day for me. But you can treat it that way. So you can either kind of continue that as a like a job getting paid every 2 weeks. The one thing I would tell you is let's just say that you're $700 profitable, you profit in those 2 weeks, which you can obviously track on your P&L, hopefully in your journal. I would like to make a video on how I journal my entries and my strategies, and you guys can see how I kind of use that even as my back testing as well. So one of these days I will make that video on that. But let's just say, for example's sake, that you're up $700 in 2 weeks and you would like to take a paycheck. Well, my recommendation in that, and this is not financial advice, nothing that I say on this channel is financial advice. Futures trading is risky. You can lose all your money. We're just here to trade strategies and show you guys, obviously, this new bot that I purchased and some of my morning strategies. With that being said, recommendation that I would have is obviously don't take out the entire $700 and leave your account at the exact same amount that you started with 2 weeks ago. So, for instance, let's say you started with $2,000 in your account, in your trading account, and let's say you make $300 in 2 weeks, okay? And you want to take a paycheck out. Well, maybe you leave 20% of your profit in there to kind of build for buffers on some of the losses that you might incur in the next 2 weeks. Okay. There's another strategy, which is personally what I did. I reset everything. I reset my thinking about trading. I reset the money that I was, or the capital, I should say, that I was putting into this business, because that's what I consider this as a business. It's a side hustle. And what I said to myself was, okay, I'm going to put, I think at that time I said I would put $1,500 or $2,000 just trading the micros. And what I did was I just kept rolling my winnings, my profits. Obviously, you have profitable days, you have loser days, but over the long run, I was just taking my profits and growing my account. And by doing that, finally you get to a point where you get to $3,000 or $4,000 in profit. Obviously, you need to have a somewhat of a winning strategy to do that. But once you get to that point, then you can start position sizing up. So now maybe instead of 1 micro, you might be at 2 micros or at 4 micros. You might bump up in some instances to a full e-mini contract, which is what I do with my NASDAQ trade in the morning. That's a $250. That is a $250 win or loss almost every day for me. I do not trade that on, so I didn't trade that yesterday in FOMC. I typically do not trade that in any red news events. Statistically, that's just what I've seen. And once you build up your account, here's where I think a lot of people get tripped up. And you can even put myself in this category. So let's say that you've been trading like how I have for 6 months. Everything has been going pretty well. You finally figured out a strategy that works for you. It's getting profitable. You start to see your account moving upwards. So the profit is you're starting to see, your graph is going up. And what's that little thing in your head saying to you? Well, if we were instead of 2 micro contracts, if we were at 4 or 6, we could have tripled what we made the last month or last 2 months of trading. Or if we bump up to the 1 E-mini contract, now we're talking about 5 times the profit that we could have made. In my NQ trade in the morning, I think I might be up 30. I think I was up 32.50, probably 3,000 because I lost the 250 today. In a matter of maybe a month and a half of trading. So maybe, and granted, that might be 30 trading days, but realistically, I probably only took trades for like 20 of those days, I think. I mean, the win percentage is fantastic. But you have to be very careful of falling into that trap of increasing your size way too quickly. That's one thing that I would say be super careful with. That is something that, as a trader, I think a lot of us fall into that trap. Also, just because you're making a boatload of money on a sim, that does not mean that you should be starting off going crazy big size in the real live market. It's totally different. The sim, in my opinion, is a great place to test out strategies, but trade it like you would trade it with real money. TradingView, I think, starts you with like $1 million in your demo account. You have the option in TradingView, and you know, in most demo accounts that are out there, you can adjust that opening balance. A smart thing for you guys to do would be, oh, we got a little setup here in oil. Give me 1 second, guys.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay, got my orders in there We'll see if we get a trade. Well, it looks like we definitely will get a trade here in oil this morning in the second session. First session was profitable. So we'll see what the second session gives us. So where was I? Oh, with the demo accounts. So the smart thing that I could tell you to do is adjust the opening balance of that demo account to what you're really going to be trading, what your balance is going to be when you fund your cash account. So if you're going to fund it with 2 grand, start the balance on the sim at 2 grand. Don't start it at $1 million or at $100,000 where you're going to start getting used to like big size, big profit numbers, and starting off an account with like 2 or 3 grand. That shit ain't going to work. And it's a recipe for absolute disaster. And some of you might say, well, Rob, this is common sense things, but you know what? I see a lot of traders, and I hear stories of a lot of traders that make those mistakes. And I made that mistake when I mean, shit, I traded on the sim for maybe a day or two before I started trading the futures, thinking that I knew, that I knew what I was doing. And there's a guy on YouTube. God,
Order
I'm gonna
canceled.
I'm gonna butcher his name. Let's see. Are we in a trade? We are in a trade. Give me 1 second. Let me just adjust my. Okay. So I got my trade in here now. We're all good. There is a guy on YouTube that. Again, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. He is, he's got a channel where he starts, he trades on Tasty Trade, which is another brokerage account that I had opened when I first started. Let me see if I can pull this guy up on my YouTube because I don't like butchering people. So, anyways, he's actually the guy that really got me into looking at futures. To be honest with you, and he had a philosophy. He's like, he teaches a strategy which is really based off of like the MACD, the crossover, um, and he says in his video and his book, which I read his book. His book's great. Ordered it from Amazon. Um, he said to trade in the sim for like 50 trades and for 50 positive trades and then put some money into the market. So I read the book. I read the book and I I'm like, okay, I mean that makes sense. Okay, so his channel is Day Trading Micro Futures. Day Trading Micro Futures. So that was the guy. Tom Singleton, I think his name is. I don't know. I got his book here somewhere. But yeah, he's like, hey, trade trade the micros for on a sim account for 50 profitable trades, and then put some money into a real live account. I read the book, got on sim. Shit, I didn't even last 2 days on the sim. I wasn't even profitable on the sim. And I said, I got this. Let's go put some money into the live market. That was dumb. I mean, that was just so I'm I'm telling you stuff that I personally have gone through, and hopefully we can become better traders with that. So I did get into my oil trade here. It was a long setup. Let's see here. top of the inside, or top of that inside candle was at 81.14. We pierced it. We're looking, I think, for about, I don't know, 20, it was 20 something ticks of profit. So we'll see the results of that. The trading bot. So let's talk about this. Um, Obviously, not much action. Not much action is going on. There is a lot of discussion in our group of people obviously tweaking some settings to tweaking some settings and making some changes to instruments that they are trading. Like, for instance, I've said it a few times, but for me, if we were, it looks like the NASDAQ just got out of that consolidation section there. So hopefully we can see some kind of movement. The markets have been kind of stale. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of talk about going in and changing the settings to the templates, and people back test, or and they're getting, some people are getting good results, some people are getting poor results. Here's my thinking. You got the creator of this system, Robert Anderson, telling us these are the templates that you should be using in these instruments to trade this strategy. As much as I understand that people love to optimize, you also have to remember that at this point, I would think that the creator of the system would probably have the best understanding of what is going to be the most. He wants the system to be profitable. I mean, that's very high in his list, because let's face it, if the system isn't profitable, maybe the subscriptions don't continue to be active, and that he doesn't want that. I understand that. So the way I have approached it is I take the templates that he gives, I put it in there. I have not made any adjustments to that. I trade the system how we're told to trade it. Now, granted, we have been told on several occasions not to trade certain days, maybe only trade the longs or the shorts. That part of the strategy I have not done, not because I don't think it's a good idea, it is, but I want to be transparent with the strategy. So some things that I have up and coming. I just finished my video on taking my oil trade setup in the morning with NinjaTrader, which makes life so much easier. So I've got that video ready. It'll probably be posted tonight. At worst case, it'll be posted tomorrow in the afternoon. And there's some good little nuggets, not only on trading it in NinjaTrader, but also just kind of taking all of the questions that I've been getting on my Discord, on the comments of the videos, and kind of wrapping all of those questions together, in a Q&A session, on answering a lot of those questions. And the cool thing is that people have been taking those trades in the ES, and some of the other instruments with some success. I am going to have a recap video of the first week of trading the Robert Anderson trading bot, the one that we're looking at on screen right now. And I also have a video coming up on the NQ scalping strategy that I have set out there. So that's what we got going. I'm going to leave these trades going. I'll give you guys some commentary. Hopefully we get some trades here. Hopefully we get some profitable trades here. We're currently at negative $13.44 for the day. And the account sits at 2167.28. As always, please like, comment on the videos. I read all the comments, guys. I respond to everything that I can. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. So look out for my recap coming here shortly. Okay, and here we got actually two setups coming up at the same time. We've got oil in the middle with a setup, and we've got the Russell on the right with a 5-minute red line. Obviously, that purple candle is kind of our signal candle that pierces that 5-minute red line. We are looking for a short there, so let's see what we get. Conversely, on the oil, we're looking for a
Order
long.
canceled.
That just got canceled because, as you can see, the close of that previous candle now went below the EMA, so that canceled that one out. Let's see if we get a trade here on the Russell. I actually would really like this trade. I think that this has got a pretty good setup. You've got a pretty deep pullback here, and you got a ton of room to get to a pretty good target. And I know the target's going to be great on a 5-minute red line. That's for sure. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. So remember, we've got to pierce that close, that low of the previous purple candle. Maybe here. I mean, this is as a textbook entry. So we're in a trade. This is as a textbook entry, I think, that you can get in Robert Anderson's gold line strategy. I mean, this fits the bill almost perfectly. So deep pullback, a lot of space. Granted, since it's a 5-minute red line, they've got some pretty aggressive targets there. So let's see. We need. We definitely need that 5-minute red line to form a line of like defense for us. We need a bounce off of that 5-minute red line. It's almost like a fence, and you don't want to see it get anything get over. Well, now the auto stop kicked in, or I should say the auto break even.
Order canceled.
And I'm sorry, not a break even. That was still a loss. That just lowered the risk based on the trailing feature of the trade. So first loss of the day on the Russell. Let's see what else the day has. Okay, we're getting into another setup here on the Russell. We're actually in a trade. Coincidentally, we are also in a setup in oil. So oil looks like it hit a 1-minute gold line. It's looking for a long. And in Russell, we just got in on a long of the 1-minute gold line as well. So entry was at 1710.50. Stop loss is at 1709.30. Take profit is at 1714. So let's see here if we also get a trade in oil. So our auto trailing stop just kicked in and took our stop loss to 1709.30. So it took about two off the table there. I don't know about oil. I don't know if oil's going to get a setup here. It'd actually be kind of cool if we had two trades going at the same time. I don't think I've had that happen to me yet in the strategy. Would like to see a profit. I feel like I haven't seen a winner in a while. Not a good candle for oil. Come on, Russell. Do something for me. Okay, oil still has a setup there. Can Russell get a little bit of a punch through here? Would be nice. Come on. Come on. Don't you feel sometimes like when you get in that the market just goes to sleep? And it's like, it seems like your entry point seems to become your new resistance line. Oh, man. Still got to set up in oil. This Russell trade is now a little bit in profit. Oh, well, spoke a little soon. Come on, don't knock me out here. Don't knock me out here. Keep going. Now oil definitely doesn't look like a good setup. This looks like it's going to cancel out on oil. And it looks like I might get stopped out on the Russell. Come on.
Order canceled.
Okay, so oil canceled. That setup that closed way too far. We're underneath the 1 minute goal line now. So no trade in oil. Russell's trying to hang on by a thread here. Okay. Let's go. Of course, our entry line, like I always say, it's acting as resistance now for us. What do you want to do? What do you want to do here? Let's go. Keep going. You got to break through out of this. This consolidation over here has just got to get broken through. Let's go. Come on. It is exciting being in a trade, though. Even though this is a pretty boring ass trade. I mean, it doesn't even have a lot of space on the stop loss, and it's still not deciding which way it wants to go. Come on. All right, make a decision here either way, and hopefully it's the right way. And the right way is the up way right now. Come on. I mean, we gotta break through. We just gotta punch through here. Just give me one little thrust of a candle upwards and we got something. Come on. No. Come on. We're almost going 7 minutes into this trade. And as a day trader, that's like an eternity. Oh, man. I don't like this here. I don't like... Come on. We just gotta push through. Let's see a push here. There we go. This might be the push that we're looking for. Come on. Let's go in the green. Oh. So this one is pretty much right underneath our break even, but this is definitely not enough space for this trade. I mean, it's way too close to the price action, in my opinion. Ah, come on. And it was just when the candle was starting to get, it just got some thrust. Granted, it came back down, but I kind of wish that the system would give it a little bit more space. Eight and a half minutes into this trade. What's it going to do? What do you guys think it's going to do? Come on, let's get some movement here. No, not that movement. That's not the movement we're looking for. Oh, boy. Come on. You wait 9 minutes and you hope to get some kind of profit out of it. Well, we got barely any risk in this trade now. But this thing just doesn't want to go. I mean, it's got a little stepping ladder going up. But this is just not the type of price action that you want to see. I mean, when you're in a trade, 10 minutes of just sideways motion. This is looking better. This is actually looking much better. Now, we obviously can see might see some resistance here at this pivot. So let's see. Let's see if the sellers jump in here now. I'll tell you one thing, if we can break through this pivot here, we might have ourselves a great trade. Or the sellers jumped in and took over the trade.
Order canceled.
11 minutes to a loser, man. That was brutal. Brutal. All right, let's see what else the day has. All right, here we're getting a setup in the NQ, which has been pretty damn quiet lately. We've got a pullback into the 5-minute gold line. Now, me looking at this trade to me doesn't interest me. If I was trading Bob's strategy manually, I don't think I would take this trade here, just because we've got about, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 points of room before we start to hit that pivot above, and about 10. So let's see here. Let's see here now if we would need this red candle to still be touching the 5-minute gold line, or the high has got to be lower than the previous smaller black candle. So if it pierces above there, it is not going to take a trade. It's going to cancel us out.
Order canceled.
Right. Yep. So that one canceled out on us. I'm actually kind of happy about that because didn't like that trade setup there. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, and there you go. Those were the trade recaps for today. All losers. Second losing day in a row. Now, I will show you something that was interesting. Kind of bothering me a little bit, but if I pull up the chart for the Russell, okay, I know I took 2 losses on the Russell today that I just showed you on the recaps. But look at this. There's the system is saying that it did take a third trade for $70 profit, and you can see that it says my entry at the 1704. My target is up here. Beautiful trade. Pull back to the 5 red line, but it didn't take this trade. Ninja did not take this trade. Not sure what the heck happened there. I don't know, maybe if it was just because of with a tick or slippage or something. I didn't get into that trade. Now that would have made it all of the difference in the world. That would have actually kind of validated what the things that I've been saying is that the system takes, probably a higher percentage of small losers and a very small percentage of some pretty big winners. But the big winners have, like I said, they have definitely kept this account up in the positive. And so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the issue was there. I do know that in the Discord, a lot of them were super excited about that trade. And, I said, okay, when I get home, that should be pretty good. But didn't take it. So we had a loss today of $32.32, which were the trades that I showed you. Our account sits at $2,148.40. This is today's P&L. So now switching over to oil. If you follow my oil strategy, you guys would have seen that both sessions were profitable. Actually, some pretty easy trades, very little drawdown, just nice and easy trades. So real quick, this was our inside bar, activation bar. Obviously, our order was placed at the top of this wick. We pierced it, and our risk is pretty much from our entry up here to the bottom of this source candle. That's our risk, which was 37 points. I thought it was 36. It was 37 points, and took full take profit. No problems there. I mean, if you had a different strategy with a runner, man, that was a great trade. Super easy. And then, as I stated, earlier, I'm looking to trade the second one. I mean, if you wanna take one trade in the morning, and if that wins be done for the day, that strategy actually, I tested it, or I back tested it, and then if you take a losing trade as your first one, so let's say this would have been a loser, then you definitely take the second trade. So I did that, and the results were pretty incredible. So, but the funny thing is taking two trades still edged it out profit wise. So I took the second trade as well. Again, pretty simple setup. This one went into profit right away. We had a big thrust here. Our risk was the bottom of the source candle from our entry, which was 24 ticks. Got it with an absolutely no problem. Now, the video that I have created that shows this exact trade in NinjaTrader is going to get released either tonight or it will be released tomorrow afternoon. And what I have done is, obviously, there's a lot of questions that I have, actually a lot of fantastic comments, and people have been inviting me to their channels and their discords because they've got groups that are trading this strategy, which is fantastic. I love to see that. Over just going through all of the comments and responding to everyone, I have kind of compiled a list of questions that I've been asked on this strategy. So I'm going to do a really quick Q&A on that, and maybe give you guys a little bit more in depth on kind of like the reasoning for some of these things that are kind of going on here. So look forward to that. Let's see what our day tomorrow brings with the trading bot. I'm still extremely excited. I know the last 2 days haven't been the most action packed, and we've obviously had losers both days, but it hasn't deterred me at all. I think that the trading bot is fantastic, and looking forward to seeing the future results. All right, everyone, happy trading.